Oh, we're back. We're back for another special episode podcast. We got an amazing special guest in the building.
Hold up.
The one and only Partywithrami. Let's clap it up, guys. Clap it up. Clap it up.
Full of energy.
Yeah, yes.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Listen, we're so excited to have you on there. We want to get to know you. We know a lot about you. Obviously, we want the people at home, the millions of people watching, to get to know you as well. Yeah. I just want to start off, how did you get your name?
Ooh, that's such a story.
Yeah, listen, that's what we're here for. We want to get to know you. How did Partywithrami, I love the name, by the way.
Thank you. I love it too.
How did you come about, like, you know what, this is my name?
I'm going to give you the short, amazing story, okay? Right. So I am now full-time Partywithrami, but before I was Miss Ramirez because I was a teacher.
Okay.
And once upon a time in Harlem, I lost my job.
Okay.
I was fishing around. I ended up being a substitute teacher for another school in Harlem.
Yep.
And I overheard that they needed a DJ for prom.
Wow.
And they were paying like $800. If you know anything about rent in New York, it's crazy.
Crazy.
I've always been a music head. I used to like play around with virtual DJ.
Yep.
And I was just like, I'm a DJ. And they were like, yeah, what's your name? And I was like, DJ Rami. Growing up, everybody called me Remy.
Yeah, okay.
And in the moment, I just figured, like, my last name is Ramirez.
Yep.
Rami is close to Remy.
Right.
I went with it. But when I made my Instagram, I was just like, yeah, nah, I'm more than just a DJ.
Right.
I'm a party with Rami.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Your energy's at 1,000, and that's one thing I appreciate. So your name fits your personality. That's what I love about it, and that's an amazing story.
Thank you, Zim.
No, it fits the music too. So I got a chance to check out the self-titled EP. You know, and
Party with Rami.
for sure. And by the way, my favorite song on it is "Nothing to Lose," but
banger.
A lot of your music is like, you know, upbeat party theme, and so it's just like, damn, it just fits right with the name. You know what I'm saying? So just kind of talk a little bit about the EP. Like, you know, when did it first come out? Who helped you put that together? What inspired it? We want to hear about it.
Thank you. I'm very proud of my EP, y'all. I can't hold y'all.
Cheers to that.
It's me. It's
right.
Authentic. I can listen to my music all day, every day. Sometimes I got to take like 2 or 3 days off because I'll be like, I'm like, oh my goodness. So I decided to go with the title Partywithrami because I think it 100% describes me and my music style. Every single song is different.
Yep.
My flow is very Spanglish. I do the Spanish ting. I do the English ting.
I hit him with the
love
that switch up. Yeah.
Shout out to London and Jamaica. Wow. But it was just one of those things, like I just knew it was time. Like I was feeling the music, and I know I'm gonna get better as an artist. So I wanted to put out the EP now. I dropped it in June. June 24th or June 26th. I don't remember the exact
So it's
date.
fresh. It's
It's
fresh.
super fresh. And I'm pushing it. And I just love it. Nothing to Lose. Low Key, High Key is actually one of my favorites as well.
Right.
Cam produced, Cam Bell. Shout out to Cam Bell.
Yeah, shout out Cam.
Cam produced that track?
Wow.
Cam Bell's.
Yeah,
I know
he's out here.
they had a part of it too. You know what I'm saying? They got a nice
That's
influence.
That's them,
And honestly, I've worked a lot with Cam. So you asked me, I've worked a lot with Cam. And it was just one of those things like, yo, Rami, like just get in the booth and see what you could do with it. And whatever melody comes out, I went with it.
That's what you run with.
Like, that's fire. I was like, yo, you think? He was like, yeah. And then the whole again, wanna be more than a friend. Yo, that shit came out of nowhere. He was like, yo, that should be your chorus. I'm like, but it don't make sense. He was like, yo, fuck it, it's music. I'm like, yeah. And now we're here. I would say, honestly, because it's one of my most English tracks.
Right.
I think it is a favorite.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And just the production, he also mixed and mastered it. So
wow.
Yes. I think it's beautiful.
Shout out Kim, man. Y'all here doing the thing, man. I appreciate that.
If you don't know, now you know.
Absolutely.
Southside.
So when did you know, so I know you gave us the Harlem story about the teaching aspect. When did you know, like, listen, I could be an artist. Like, I have this musical talent, because I know everyone could say, you know, they can do it, but where did you find that inspiration? Like, no, I can actually do this.
You know, I'm different, and I say that with all due respect. And I believe every single person is an artist.
Yep.
But it's up to them to live up to the kind of art they're meant to do. So I've always been into
If I was you, I would listen. That's a gem right there.
I'ma write
That's
a
a gem.
motherfucking book.
Yeah. You gotta
And
use
you
that for a
guys better
caption.
cop it.
Yeah.
I think everyone's an artist. So
Yeah.
like in college, I was always playing around with the music. In high school days, I was on the iPod. Tira, tra, tra, tra. You know, high school and college, I was a freestyling champ. Don't ask me to freestyle. I'm not going to do it. But I used to be like, hey, you. I used to do the most. I was always super passionate, but I'm the first in my family to go to college.
That's what's
I got
up.
my first degree. I got my second degree.
That's what's up.
You're never told that you can actually make a living
Yeah.
with being, you know, an artist, with
Right.
pursuing art. So it was just out of the question. But no word of a lie, I went to Boston University.
Yep.
I went to BU,
Shout out.
and I never knew what I wanted to do. Like,
Yeah.
I was a sociology major. You know, mommy big brains. I was a sociology major, and it was cool. But, at the end, I was like, what am I going to do? How am I going to make a living? Teach for America was a very prominent program at the
Okay,
time.
familiar,
Shout out
yo.
TFA.
Yeah,
TFA,
TFA,
what up?
yeah,
Thank you
let's
for
go.
the opportunity. Y'all changed my life.
Yep.
And I knew I wanted to move to New York City. I am from Providence, Rhode Island.
That's
That
what's
is
up.
my first home, but New York is definitely my second home.
Shout out New York.
And, yeah, hell yeah.
He's from Harlem. That's why he loving it over there.
Okay. Okay. But it was one of them things I was just like, I never had a teacher that looked like me growing up. So let me be a
Speak
role
on it.
model. Let me do
Speak on it.
TFA. I was like, I'm only going to teach for 2 years. And then I lasted a little minute.
Yep.
But now we're here. So to fully answer your question, COVID hit, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I think we can all agree that it changed all of our lives.
Absolutely.
Whether it was on a small scale or a bigger scale.
Absolutely.
And for me, it was kind of like I couldn't do it. Teaching from the crib, I felt like I was going crazy. Like,
Speak on it. Yeah.
it's just not the same, me giving the energy in person to the students. First of all, hold up. Shout out to all my students. I miss y'all and I love y'all.
Shout out.
Big up
Shout
to
out
y'all.
all of us
And a
students.
lot of them,
We got Miss Ramirez in the building.
I would say the older ones definitely follow me. I miss you guys. Big up to y'all. I know you're watching me. We gonna make it.
That's it. That's
I
love.
told them they're all gonna get backstage passes, and they are.
That's
when
love.
the time
Lit.
comes. But anywho, long story short, I knew it was time because I dropped some freestyle and
Yeah.
it went crazy. It was like ratata. It was
Yeah,
super
yeah.
Dominican.
Yeah.
And then a couple people hit me up like, yo, write this, write that. And they were fucking with it.
Yep.
And then I wrote Rompiendo Todo. In 20 minutes, I found some little Dominican producer on IG, on
Yep.
Instagram. And one of my mentors at the time was like, yo, I think you should do a music video to it. And I was like,
Yeah.
you sure? He was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Did that shit on Broad Street and it went crazy.
Crazy. Yeah.
And now
good.
we're here. When you see yourself on camera, it's different.
Right.
So I just quit my job and now we're here.
So that's that's kind of like my
I
next
love it.
question.
Yeah.
So the music is great. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, thank
but
you.
I think the best part of you is your energy.
Thank you.
And just kind of going over your IG briefly is seeing the videos. And I want to say the song was called International,
Yeah.
where you
Yeah.
kind of had the bloopers.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, that could have been a part of the video, and that was the part that didn't make it.
Right.
Right,
So
right.
when you going through your videos, your energy and everything, like how do you get to that level? Like what helps you?
Yo, can I be honest? I'm just myself. Like
Right.
I can't help it. Like I'm so goofy, and beyond that, I want people to always be their authentic selves because people
Absolutely.
respect that shit.
Facts.
And like somebody like me, you got nothing to lose, and no pun intended. You know what I'm saying? I am from the South Side. I come from a single parent home. I
Yep.
come from very humble and poor beginnings, and I'm not embarrassed to say that because I know what's to come.
Facts.
You know, and not even being cocky, because I encourage every single person to follow their passion and stop at nothing, because people project, so International, I shot it in London.
Yep.
Shout out to
Wow.
Ashley Jade. She's one of
Yeah.
my really close friends,
That's
and
what's
she
up.
was able to help me produce that. And, it just matched the title of the song, and what I'm singing about
Right.
is very Spanglish. So just basically like, I'm not going to stop. We're all going to make it. And I mean that shit. Not on some corny shit, but I mean it.
No.
I
So-
make it. We all going to make
Yeah,
it.
for
So,
sure, for sure.
so what led to you shooting that video in London, and then you said you're going back for 3 weeks
Yes,
to
I
do some
am.
more music in London?
Yes, sir. It just made sense. Like I said, Ashley's one of my really close friends. She is a film and music director.
All right,
so she
sweet,
was
sweet,
able
yeah.
to literally put it together for
Yeah.
me. Big up to her.
Awesome.
And if the song is called International, and I am an independent artist, I have now 1 year since I've been dedicated to being an independent artist.
Yep.
every video has to show progression and me leveling up. So Rompiendo Todo was amazing. Nothing to Lose was a different vibe.
Right.
And then it's like, boom, Shorty went to London. Hell yes.
Yes, exactly.
I did that. Why am I going back? I have some bookings. You guys should follow me. You're going to see what I'm up to. I'm going to handle that and then, come back home and we're going to fuck shit up. That's
Hell
it.
yeah. So now, speaking of, you spoke a little bit about your family, single parent household. How has the family support been? Because like I said, you're educated, you took yourself to college. I know, especially, parents have these goals and aspirations. So when you decided, like, you know what, I'm quitting, I want to focus on this, how did the family receive that message?
First of all, shout out to COVID because the world was basically ending. So it just made sense for me to give up my apartment in New York and to really, like, temporarily relocate to Rhode Island a bit more. I'm really back and forth. But to be honest, for my mother, because that's all I got, she just didn't believe that was me. She was like, ay, pero that's you? And I'm like, yes. And she's like, oh my God, my real name, which we're not going to say.
Right.
She's like, you sound really good. And then day of the shoot, I had a few people. Shout out to everybody who showed up to all of my music videos. But shout out to everyone who showed up for Rompiendo Todo. I had a good, maybe 10 people. But the day of the beach scene, most people couldn't make it.
Right.
No problem. My mom's was like, I would like to support you. So
that's your mom in the music?
Yeah, it's her mom.
Wow.
And the
She's
darkest
killing
skin
it.
lady is my aunt. They're over here with black.
Wow.
So,
That's love. That's love.
My mother really supports me, and she's very, strict and big on education, but I did that. So it's not a matter of that I didn't do it. I can always go back to being a teacher, a professor. It's not my passion. And I do want to take 22 seconds to just say, whatever you want to do in this life, do that shit. You could do it. A lot of the times we are made to believe that we can, all these limitations. There are no limits. Or, we have one another. If we invest in one another, if we support one another, you guys are supporting me by having me on your podcast. I'm supporting y'all because my brand is on your podcast.
Facts.
We could really do it up.
Absolutely.
We just got to do it.
Absolutely.
And there's a message in that too. There's a big message in what you just said. It's very important. And like you said, you're from a Dominican background.
Hey,
so,
get
so a little about where I'm from. I'm Jamaican, but I grew up around a lot of Dominicans. She knows she's hip.
Free world boss.
So our parents, when you come from underprivileged, environments, the biggest thing is school. You know what I mean? And going and making something of yourselves. Not too many times do parents want to hear I'm gonna go be an artist.
I'm a rapper.
You know what I'm saying? They
I'm
don't
a
want to hear that.
They don't want to hear that.
So just kind of in this era where social media helps out a lot, could you just talk to any aspiring artists out there, or somebody that's undecided that may want to say, hey, the 9 to 5 is not for me, I want to go pursue my dream or something else. How is social media a big part of that? How did that help you?
That's a great question. Y'all wrote these down.
Yeah,
Y'all
listen,
practiced.
off the dome. I told you organic. It is a great question.
Let me tell you something. Social media is the ultimate tool right now.
Yeah.
And I say that because I use it. It's working for me. I would say 80% of my bookings comes from the fact that people like my videos. They think I'm funny. They think I'm this.
Yeah.
And they're right. But if it wasn't for IG, if it wasn't for, Facebook's a little weird, but it still works. If it wasn't for the Twitter things, I don't think I'd be this far so soon. I believe in my journey and I believe in what's to come, but it's happening very, very fast. And I say that humbly.
Absolutely.
I was just on stage with Kiko El Crazy, Mosa La Para, and Mickey Woods, which they're big names in the Latin industry, the music industry.
Yep.
And that's based on the fact that shout out to Durísimo App Store and his team, they fucked with my energy and what I have to offer. So if it wasn't for social media, if it wasn't for certain platforms, I wouldn't have had that opportunity. So I bring it back to just be yourself. Try not to overthink it. I'm an honest person. Sometimes I overthink shit, but I still put my stuff out. And it has only led me to great things, such as being here.
Absolutely. That's a real rap. Clap it up. So I did want to ask you, because you're a female artist, right?
Am.
And female artists, from my perspective, and this is my only opinion, you guys have an uphill battle.
Yes, we do.
With imagery, body shaming, this, that, hair, makeup, so on and so forth. I see that you're a very confident person.
Why, thank you.
But there's artists out there that are watching this, like that have the talent but don't have that confidence. What do you say about females in the industry and how they should approach their music and what they're trying to portray out there?
Great. I love this podcast. It's so inspired.
Appreciate it.
Shout out.
That's an excellent question. I think first and foremost is different for every single person.
Yeah.
Be true to yourself. I can't stress that enough. Know what you want and stop at nothing. When I am working out different negotiations or whatever it is with any person, I know what Partywithrami stands for.
Right.
And if it's anything that's not aligned to that, I won't do it. And I think that's really, really important. I'm not going to knock any woman when it comes to how they present themselves on social media. We're all different.
Absolutely.
I'm not into body shaming. We're all different.
Yeah.
But as long as you're okay with what you're doing and how you're doing it, I will support you.
Right.
And I just think run with it. With me, I do things how I do things because I know 6 months from now, a year from now, 3 years from now, I'm gonna be like, I was that bitch and I'm still that bitch.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Talk,
feel
yep.
Talk heavy.
Talk, yeah.
Nah, but I'm being serious.
Heavy
Like I'm not
talk,
gonna
yeah.
sit here and again, I'm not knocking anybody because I
Right.
support all women. But I'm not gonna sit here and like throw it back on some crazy shit
Yeah.
just to get 15,000 followers, and then 8 months from now I'll be like, oh, why did I do
Why
that?
did
And
I
I don't want
do
that
that?
type of
Yeah.
attention. I'm very intentional. That's what I want to say. I
Right.
think intentionality is very important in this
Right.
industry. What are you doing and why? And stick by it. Boom.
Absolutely. That's real talk. Listen, this is why we call the podcast. If I was you, I would listen.
Gems.
Because
Hey.
even in this
Gems.
podcast and these interviews, these questions, and I appreciate her giving us that gem, that knowledge, that thought process. Because the only reason I bring this up, a couple
Right.
podcasts before, we was talking about Lizzo and Coi Leray.
Yep.
So
Oh,
obviously,
I love them though.
yeah,
I love
two
them.
great artists.
Very different.
Very different, but they both are going through social media and just like I said, the body shaming, the this and that. And I'm just like,
I think it's a little more complex than that.
all right, break it down.
Okay,
How you
I'm not
view
gonna
it?
fully break it down
Yeah, yeah.
because
No, I
but
know, I
I'm
hear
gonna
you.
tell you my
Yep.
take on it. First of all,
Yep.
I think shout out to both of them. I think they're very talented
Yep.
artists. Obviously, Lizzo has no problem showing her body,
Right.
and some people are with the shits, and some people are like, yeah, it's too much. I
Right.
don't think that's fair
Right.
because we're not saying it's too much when it's other women who have a different shape and
Mm-hmm.
depending on the audience, it's more appealing. I'm very careful with my words because
Absolutely.
I know I have to be.
Yeah.
Coi Leray, first of all, I think they're both beautiful. I just want to say that.
Absolutely.
And then Coi Leray, she is on the thinner side,
Right.
but she be throwing that shit back. Yeah, okay, shorty.
Right,
okay. So, people are with it, or
Yeah.
they'll be like, oh, she needs to eat more.
Right.
When I say it's a bit more complex than that, TikTok. Let's talk about TikTok.
Yep.
I think TikTok changed a lot when it comes to
game.
the music industry. When we see Coi
Absolutely.
Leray, I think she's a really good performer.
Right.
I like her music because she's catchy, but she's really, really catchy when it comes to the TikTok joint.
Right.
Some of her performances, not all.
Yep.
So a lot of the audience didn't know her songs because they may not be heavy on TikTok. That's
Right.
that's my observation.
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
I think that's tricky. But once again, I'm for all women. I can't stand body shaming.
Right.
Do I wish more women would not feel pressured to constantly do work or look a certain way? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I disappointed or will I knock anyone for doing work? No.
Yep.
Because I'm a woman in this industry and I understand the pressure that exists.
Makes
And
sense.
I just want all my women to win and be happy. And goddamn, if I don't win a motherfucking Grammy one day, what am I doing?
Now we're gonna speak it to existence. You're gonna win that Grammy.
Oh, I know.
And then we're gonna
I was
get the
fucking
first
around.
interview right after that. You know what I mean? And like I said, I asked you that question because first of all, I just get that sense of confidence from you that that's not going to affect you per se, right?
I'm
but be
human.
honest, have anything come across your way of just negativity that just made you be subconscious or just be mindful of what you put out there, or just been on go
I
mode?
mean, first of all, I'm human. We all
Yep,
have insecurities.
absolutely, yep.
Second of all, I'm a woman in this industry where we're constantly compared.
Right.
I would only say the reason why I'm confident is because I genuinely really love my music and what I do, and I honestly think I'm different. I'm constantly compared, but I am different, and I know that, and I'm gonna let the universe continue to guide me so I can show the world. But the only time that I felt, away was when I dropped Rompiendo Todo.
Yeah.
I was shocked by like the Dominicans, as in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
A lot of them were coming for me because my chorus, I took it from Monkey Black.
Okay.
And I'm saying que viva el mono, long live Monkey Black. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like I'm shouting him out. I took his, I don't know if you guys know the song, El Sol, La Playa,
Nah,
Un
I
Tro de
don't, I'm
Van. If
sorry.
you ever been to a club on
Yeah,
Broad
yeah.
Street,
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
heard it.
I
probably heard it
I
100
heard it,
times.
not even,
You probably
yeah.
heard it
Yeah,
100
the
times.
But yeah.
point is, I recycle the joint,
Yep.
and right after recycle his lyrics, I say que viva el mono, which is saying long live Monkey Black. So I'm paying homage.
Right.
And yo, these people online
Yeah.
chewed me out. They're like, yo, she deserves to go to jail.
Wow.
She deserves to die. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, why are you doing this to me? Like, you guys are Dominicans. Like, I have
Right.
people who don't even speak the language fucking with the
song, right.
But I had to learn, and I say this to everyone who supports me.
Yeah.
And I say this to everyone who may not support me, but likes me or doesn't like me. You don't have to like my music. You don't even have to like me.
Yeah.
But you will respect me.
Amen to that.
Because
Amen
I
to
respect
that.
other people. So in this industry, you have to know that not everybody's gonna rock
Right.
with Partywithrami.
So off camera, we was talking hoops.
Ooh,
Shout out to you because you're a Lakers fan.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm
Lady
saying?
LeBron, baby.
Yeah, so that's what we want to get into. Lady LeBron, where's that come from?
Come on.
Are you a hooper or a basketball player? Which one?
First of all, I'm a retired legend. Shout out to Sackett. Shout out to Southside.
Sackett.
If you
Yeah.
know, you know, okay.
We got an original.
Fun fact.
Yep.
Most people know me.
Yep.
I would say before because of basketball. 'Cause I
Okay.
was always like that shorty playing ball, and people thought I was a little cute. Again, I'm humble. But, yo, so many people would hit me with that stupid loving basketball line. I hate it. Can I play for your heart? No, you can't. You cannot. But I am Lady LeBron. So if y'all want to play, we could do that.
So Melo versus LeBron.
Melo versus LeBron,
I
finally.
mean, you want me to leave him at 0? What we doing?
So no, real talk. So she not lying because I don't know if y'all seen the video, but she got a little hoop
Yeah, I
game
did see
going
that.
on.
Yeah, I did
so
see
so
that
so
on
so
IG.
talk to us about that video and the artist featured in that. We want to learn a little more.
Oh, James Martin. Shout out to
Okay.
James Martin Martin. Que lo que lo what. He's Dominican. I think he's a phenomenal artist.
Yep.
And I've had the pleasure to be a video model
Okay.
in one of his most recent videos. And it was great. You know, the song is called Besos. Stream it on all digital platforms.
Yep.
And basically it's just about, you know, he sees me playing ball in the court. I'm busting a little ass or whatever.
Handle's
And
on
then,
point. Handle's
you know, I
definitely
got
on point.
invited to a little party joint, and then it's like, oh, snap. But no word of a lie. Earlier, we were talking about just being a woman in the industry, and I really, really, really fuck with James Martin
Yeah.
because he respects women
Right,
in the
right.
industry.
That's
And
what you gotta
we
do.
have a strictly business relationship, and I think he's amazing. Big up to you, bro.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Shout
Big
out,
up
man.
to you.
Shout out James.
Yeah, seriously. So, like I said, I was just telling these guys even off camera, I love the name so much because I view it as obviously your stage name,
Yes.
your artist name. I don't know if I didn't.
Yeah,
mean
both.
disres-
Stage,
yeah,
artist,
same thing.
real life.
But to me, it's also like a brand. Like
It is a
there's
brand.
so many avenues that you can go with that name. So just speak on your goal as an artist, as a brand entity, and what you're trying to do.
Entity. He said entity. Oh, my God.
That's that assistant principal.
Yeah,
Hey, I'm not mad at it. Shout out to education.
education.
Okay, so when it comes to Party with Rami, I do see myself as an entire brand. I see myself as an entertainer. Right now, my main focus is an artist. Music is the vessel for all the greater things that are to come.
Absolutely.
Honestly, I love music. I love everything when it comes to music. But more importantly, I love being a good person and inspiring others to be the same way. Don't be like me, but be the best version of you.
Facts.
The way I understand life, and this is maybe like the philosopher in me and whatever, is just like we're put on this earth. We're all talented. I said earlier,
Yep.
we are all artists, but we are here to help one another. We are here to push each other forward. So, you know, when my time comes, because my time is coming,
Yeah.
I just want people to know that they could do it too. And if they look up to me, I look up to them as well.
Right,
Because
right.
we're all we got. And I say that, and I mean that shit.
Absolutely.
So Party with Rami, it's music, it's the vibe, it's energy,
Yep.
it's positivity, and it's just, you know, whatever you put your mind to, you could do that shit.
So can we piggyback off that? So you said your time is coming. And you
Ooh.
said you want to get a Grammy.
Ooh.
So
He is
what are
quoting me. I'm scared.
What are your goals, and where do you see your career in like 3 years, 4 years, 5 years?
To be honest, it can go so many different ways, and I'm open to that. You know, people is just like, you know, often I'm asked, well, are you a rapper? Are you a singer? Are you a comedian? Because I got jokes. And I, believe it or not, I don't like to label myself. It makes me feel very uncomfortable because I just believe I'm limitless. So when it comes to where I see myself 3 to 5 years, international for sure, a global name, impactful, not just, you know, in America and other places. You know, my music resonating with people, but more importantly, my personality and my impact resonating with people. I'm not doing, shout out to this joint right here. I'm not doing my due diligence if I'm not helping people, you know, just move forward and be a good person. I talk a lot about that because that's what life is about.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what, you know, if we think about people or in the industry that have passed away, Nipsey. Let's talk about it. You know, people talk about Nipsey so much because of the impact that he had on people. Granted, he made dope music. I'm not one of those people. I wasn't a diehard Nipsey fan, you know what I'm saying? But I can appreciate what he did for the community. And I just think about people like him and so on, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree with that, especially just bringing up Nipsey. Like, it was the stuff that he did off camera.
Right.
Not related to music, and then even his interviews, he was always dropping gems.
Yes.
And then even like when he explained what he meant by the marathon, you know what I'm saying?
Right. It's a
like,
real thing.
That was a lifestyle. It's a real, and I think that's what impacted. And then every room he stepped in, he got respect because he treated people with respect. From what I gathered, you know what I mean?
I also think he was authentic.
Authentic. That's
Authenticity.
A key word.
There are certain topics, there are certain themes that I'm gonna be redundant intentionally because it's important to me. And if, you know, whoever's watching, I hope y'all all watch this joint. Shout out to Ya, shout out to me, shout out to Shakira. Go DJ.
Go DJ. The plug.
The plug. Shout out to the plug. You know, I read a lot and I study a lot, and we all have gifts. And the problem with our community or just like different demographics, or when, you know, you wake up and you think you have to go to a job every day that you hate, is that they don't honor what you're meant to do in this lifetime. So I'm really big on taking some time apart and thinking about, you know, why are you here? And for some people, it's a big scale joint. For some other people, it's something small. But everyone is here for a reason. You just have to find out why.
Absolutely.
It's another gem.
Come on,
No,
man.
if I was you, I would listen. That's all we keep.
At this point, I need fortune cookies.
I think we should start doing that. Every time someone drops a gem, we say, if I was you, I would listen. All right, we're gonna coin that. Well, we'll talk about that offline.
Yes.
So you're an artist.
Yes.
Who do you visualize? Actually, let me take that back. What would be your dream collab?
Ooh.
Your dream collab.
I wasn't ready for this question. It's tough because the type of music that I make, I feel like it's fun. It's vibes and it's very catchy. Am I a lyricist right now? Absolutely not. I'm not going to sit here and be like, yo, my bars are great. No. But will I make you say, again? Of course. You already know it. You probably watched it once or twice. Maybe 30 times. Maybe 30 times. I ain't saying nothing. Anyways.
You trying to kill the boy.
Hey, dream collab. I'm not too sure. I would say right now, I'm not going to hold you. Shout out to DR. I think Tokisha is killing it. Okay. And it has a lot to do with her growth. And again, she's just being herself. And DR is like very Catholic and low-key very strict, but she is just
out there.
She's out there and she's doing it, and she makes it look so cool and so good. So I would say Tokisha, a male right now. I would even do Bad Bunny. I think Bad Bunny. I think Bad Bunny is the Latin Prince. You know, if y'all don't see it like that now, y'all gonna see it like that later. I promise. When it comes to like hip hop or the rap world, I honestly feel like rap doesn't really exist anymore. But when it comes to like hip hop ish, I would just go with somebody that would help, you know, push my brand even more. So it would be either like Cardi, it would be Nicki, it would either be Saweetie, one of them. Right. But my dream collab, I don't know. I just
I think you name a lot of good artists, and like I said, I think what's gonna speak it to existence. So you're gonna get those features. You're gonna be featured on.
It's already written.
Right.
And that is a Slumdog Millionaire quote. If you haven't watched that movie, highly recommend.
Yeah, I love that
It's
movie.
already written. It's a great movie.
So, even with speaking with that, and I know you said you don't like to label, even like what you like to do as well, and you don't want to label what type of music you feel like you're making as well. But if you had to say, what's your inspiration, right, of your style?
Okay.
Can you name it to anybody or anything? I know,
It's weird, right? Because, again, people are like, oh, you're such a good singer. And I'm like, what?
Right.
I'm doing this thing where I'm trying to be better with accepting compliments because I feel like a lot of people struggle with that. I struggle with that, honestly. But I think I'm really, I'm pretty cool at like melodies and like harmonizing.
Right.
So if we're talking about like inspiration or like what kind of helped me with that, I would say the Ashanti days and the J-Lo. Or like, what's love? I would say that, but again,
That's
like
dope.
I'm very Spanglish with it. So
Right.
I grew up listening to a lot of like baladas, which are like super old school R&B songs.
Yep.
Rocío Dúrcal, Amanda Miguel. So it's like, it's weird because I have so many different influences. I think they've all inspired me.
Right.
And everything, like even like rappers, like growing up, like Lil Kim, like Remy Ma, like Missy Elliott. Missy Elliott's amazing. I think Missy Elliott was way ahead of her time.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I agree.
Her visual
And still underrated.
like
I
even
agree.
Busta Rhymes, I also think Busta was way ahead of his time.
Yeah,
too.
absolutely.
So
Even the videos were just amazing.
Amazing,
Of this
for sure.
creativeness.
Crazy,
Yeah, I agree.
So let me ask you this. So we got into like, what got you into like, the music industry.
Yep.
We talked about Campbell's, but what was that moment when you was like, obviously we could tell from this interview you have a lot of confidence, which is a good thing.
Wow, well, thank you guys. I'm just being me, but thank you. I appreciate that.
What moment was it where you was like, or someone that confirmed it for you that may have not been in your inner circle and you went back to yourself, it's like, yo, I'm nice. Like,
That's a great question. To be honest, there's been many people, and I'm going to name them all. First and foremost, shout out to Dana Lou. Okay. Dana Lou is an amazing DJ producer from New York. Okay, if y'all don't know her name now, you guys are going to know her name.
Dana Lou. Shout out Dana Lou.
Dana Lou, very, very soon.
Appreciate you.
She makes crazy beats, and one day she asked me for a verse, and she'd always tell me, like, yo, there's something different about you. You got it. Cool. One of my mentors and friends is DJ Webstar, Mr. Chicken Noodle Soup. Big up Webstar. He's another one.
Childhood legend.
Yeah, legend.
Yes, he is. And
with the soda on the side.
Hell yeah. And he's still a legend now because he's such an amazing person. But, he's actually, I would believe it was like once or twice, he got me into like a vocal coach lesson. Yep. I forgot dude's name, but dude worked with like Alicia Keys, Mark Anthony, like mad people. He's a legend. I'm sorry I forgot his name, Webb. Yeah. Don't kill me. And I was able to go. He had like a gig at Universal Records. I was there with him. And he's always introducing me to people. So Webb was just like, oh, you got to keep going. Can't nobody stop you, Rami. Can't nobody stop you. So shout out to Webstar. Yeah. And honestly, like my family and just random people, yo. Like I get crazy DMs. I've gotten people come up to me like, you're Partywithrami.
Right.
I keep going. I like your sound. So I'm going to keep going. But also I'm going to keep going because it feels good to me.
Right.
And if I wasn't happy doing this, I wouldn't do it.
Right, absolutely.
I think happiness is important.
So to other artists who want to get in the industry, get in the music industry, make an album and make an EP, what are some things that you would say to them, things that you learned kind of along your journey?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think for one, and like Cam really helped me with this as well, was like...
Shout out to Cam,
Shout out to Cam, man. You really have to have like some sort of like plan, like a content calendar.
Absolutely.
Like for me, I'm like, Cam, I want to drop an EP. He's like, okay, when are we taking pictures for the photo, like the cover, like... when are you going to upload it on the digital platforms, which it takes up to maybe 2 to 3 weeks? Like, what's your plan for marketing, promotion? How much, and a lot of artists don't talk about this. This is technically artist development, but like, how much money are you spending with with advertising. Like people talk about that, you know,
Right,
like
right, right.
everyone's like, oh, I'm gonna go viral. Like, yeah, you
Exactly.
could go viral, but really,
It could go away
even
like
the
that.
the biggest artists, they pay for advertisements. Let's talk about it.
Right,
People
they
don't
do.
talk about it.
They
Like,
do.
Yeah.
you don't just get 1 million views. That
Right.
shit is paid for,
Paid
not
for, yeah.
fully, but partially.
Right.
And I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
And anyone who says otherwise, they don't know the industry.
Right.
So I would just say that, like, have some sort of plan.
Yep.
And also, like, there is no rush, but know your sound and know what you're trying to do.
What you're trying
My
to do.
EP is very summery and very fun.
Right.
I knew it was time. And also the way that I invest in myself and in my sounds,
Yep.
I know I'm going to get better.
Right.
So I didn't want to drop those songs next year because I think next year I'm going to show, you know, improvement on all levels.
Right. And it's crazy you say that because we had a conversation about the lack of artist development
Yes, it's a
nowadays.
real thing.
So we see these kids out there or these little one-hit wonders or whatever, they come and go.
And they're good.
And they're good, you know what I mean? And obviously they're there for the quick fix of, you know, financially taking care of their family, which
Right.
at the end of the day, that's the number one goal.
100%.
But just going like hearing you saying, I took singing lessons, I talked to this person, I talked to that person, says a lot about you and, you know, you taking your craft seriously.
I think, again, everything boils down to, like, what are your goals as
Yeah.
an artist? Like, do you just want to become famous and have the clout and get 30,000 likes?
Right.
Or do you want to be a stamp in this game? Do you
Right.
want to be a legend? And people think legend and they think such a big scale, but I could be a legend just based in the Rhode Island community.
Right,
the
Yeah.
New
right,
England
right,
community,
absolutely.
The tri-state area,
Abso-
America, or maybe
absolutely.
just London. I don't know, but it all boils down to your goals, the impact, and your work ethic.
Right.
Hey, are there better singers and rappers and whatever out there better than me? Of course. Can they outwork me? Is their discipline better than mine? I don't know.
Right.
And the reason why I say that is because I know the work that I put in.
Yep.
Not to knock anybody, but I just know what I do every single day. Can't nobody knock my hustle.
Right. So obviously, so far I've been hearing nothing but like glitz and glamours of
Hey.
everything that's been going on in your journey with the music. What are some of the negatives? What have something so far that you have seen in this industry that you could see, you know, just the negative, the mental health aspect of it, so on and so forth.
I love that question because I think mental health is not spoken about enough, right?
Right.
So I think social media, as much as it's an amazing tool for independent artists or
Yeah.
artists, it could really mess with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The comments, you know, you have to be very vulnerable. You have to be willing to be vulnerable to just put yourself out there.
Right.
You know, I would say most people enjoy my content, but I'm sure there are people who don't. And, you know, I do my best not to pay attention to that. But, you know, as my brand grows, as I continue to grow, I don't know if my answer is going to remain the same.
Right. That's true.
In
That's
terms
true.
of mental health, I'm very, very big on seeking help.
Yeah.
You know, help can mean therapy. Help can mean like yoga and journaling. Help
Right.
can mean so many different things.
Going to the gym. Yeah.
Going to the gym.
Yep.
Mental health is as important as your physical health.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it's just not a main topic
Right.
in our culture. When I say culture, I mean people of color. I don't like to say minorities because we are the majority of this country. We are
Right.
the culture.
Absolutely.
And we matter.
Absolutely, and I love the fact that you brought that up because people don't understand. Hip hop is the number one genre and culture in
100%.
here. We have other ethnicities trying to, I don't want to say mimic, but trying to
They,
Steal the
they
sauce.
absorb.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
absorb.
they
Steal the sauce.
Yeah, they steal
They
the sauce.
absorb,
You know
they
what I mean?
absorb.
And I feel that's very, very important in regards to the artistry and what they're trying to put out there. Right. Now, even moving the conversation even further, in your content and music, are you conscious of anything that you put out there? Are you always second guessing yourself? 'Cause I know some artists that be like, man, I'll just get high, I'll go in the studio and say whatever and not deal with the repercussions in regards to that.
So-
Are you conscious in your things?
I do my best, so I keep it a buck. I have a process, and I feel like I've given Cam like 5 different shout outs, but it is what it is. I worked a lot with him, and he has helped me understand and identify what my process is. So I write a lot, but also when I hear a beat, I just go with it. Like literally all of the joints, I went in the booth, and whatever comes to mind, I do it. Now, you asked me about my level of being conscious. And sometimes I'll say some wild shit and I go back and I'm like, yo, I'm going to keep that, and that, but I'm going to remove that. Why? Because once I put something out there, it's going to stay there forever. Whether I delete it, somebody might screen record it, I don't know. You know, it depends on so many different things. Again, most of my music right now, it's not heavy when it comes to message. It's more about feeling good, you know, having a good time. So I'm very mindful about what I say. Like particularly like in this EP, I didn't even bother to say nigga. I didn't want to. And that's something that, you know, I'm Dominican, yes. You know, I'm Afro-Latina, yes. I grew up on the South Side. And that is something that I do say in my everyday vocabulary. Not often because I try not to. But, you know, it was one thing that Kim and I spoke about. We just didn't even want to include it. You know, and it could have been... I didn't want to, you know. Not to say that I won't ever in my music because it's something that's very existent in the hip-hop community. But my album wasn't hip-hop at all. So I wasn't even trying to sprinkle that joint. You know what I'm saying? So it's mindfulness. It's always about mindfulness.
Absolutely. And I think that's a great message right there.
Great message for sure. So I take it that you, like, you know, this is new to you, like, you know, and everything's happening kind of quick. Like, you know, obviously you've always been involved in music. So let's talk about The Strand.
Let's do it, but the timer's up. So
we keep going.
Keep it going. We keep it going.
So we'll make
keep it going, DJ.
We'll make this question
Go,
quick.
DJ.
So The Strand, you look like, I forget, correct me if I'm wrong, I forget the names of who was performing.
Okay.
But you look like a natural. You was getting down, you was dancing, jumping up and down. Was that your first official performance, or?
So let me tell you, I didn't even perform. I was one of the hosts. And I had the opportunity to primarily host, I would say, the first hour, hour and a half. Shout out to Lurisimo, shout out to Chocolate Radio, shout out to everybody involved. La Mega. And I gotta keep it a buck. That's my sweet spot. Performing and or just being myself is my sweet spot. I also DJ, but there's a different level of naturalness in me having fun when I can just be like, yeah, you know, I love it, you know, and I can't help it. I can't explain it, and I just bring it back to the fact that it's a gift, and it's my, you know, responsibility to keep going and let other people absorb it and just hopefully inspire and take
I'm laughing because it's like I get that feeling that you're talking about because these guys know I host parties. I'm doing a Fab concert this weekend, and like I said, when I get in that element, even when I did when you got the mic in your hand. And you like people, you control what these guys see.
He's definitely like the on the scene guy. We're like the play the cut.
Yeah, they know. So that's why it's hilarious.
It's like people are like, yo, what did you eat? Like, what you on? Nothing. I'm literally, I'm in my elements. And I know that I am where I'm supposed to be.
Absolutely.
And I'm excited for what's to come.
Absolutely.
Sure. But yo, Rami.
This is amazing. Give it up for Rami.
Give it up, man.
This is amazing. Make sure, DJ, we add those claps, the fire emojis, everything, because this was a lit interview.
For those who's watching, give your social media.
Yeah, give your social media.
Hey, my name is Party with Rami, at Party with Rami on all socials. Self-titled EP, Party with Rami. Book me.
Run up the streams.
Run up those streams.
Run up the tingle.
Absolutely, YouTube. She was amazing. Once again, this concludes another amazing episode. If I was you, I would listen. Myself, Zine. My brother, Professor Josh, a.k.a. Juan.
I'm sorry.
We're not editing that out either. And my boy Dot S. Dot, man. Sure, man. Really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming.
Stream Party with Rami.
Yes, absolutely.